This will be my character profile for Arabella, aka Jane, in Outlander. This will have spoilers for the books and the TV show, so if you are looking to avoid those, please do keep on scrolling. So this week on Outlander, we got to meet Arabella, aka Jane, for the first time, and she makes her first appearance in Written in My Own Heart's Blood in the Outlander book series. She is a lady of the night in Philadelphia that William meets one night after the events of episode 11, where he learns that Jamie is his real dad, and that makes him a bastard. In the books, they meet in June of 1778. Jane was left to care for her younger sister Fanny after their parents died, and they had no way to feed themselves. And so in order to do right by her younger sister, she turned to another way of employment in order to make money, and that ended up being in Philadelphia. When William first meets her, he is actually quite mean to her, just given the events of the day and how upset and angry he is at the time. And when he returns the second time, he tries to do right by Jane by protecting her from the advances of Captain Harkness. Harkness is someone who has repeatedly seen Arabella and likes to claim her as his woman, and William immediately senses that she would be in danger if he were to spend the night with her again, given the way he's talking about her so openly in the brothel. And so he pays for the night and wants to gift her the night of a good night's sleep. The two of them end up talking, and we saw what happened in episode 12 between the two of them, and that is the first time that I think she starts to trust William as someone who would genuinely care for her in a way that most men that she's interacted with at this point would not. Now, we haven't met her younger sister Fanny, but in a subsequent episode for the show, I'm hoping they will show this, but in the books, there is a night after she spends the night with William where Harkness returns and asks to take the maidenhead of Jane's younger sister Fanny, who again is a child, and Jane has been trying to protect her whole life. She asks her madame that she join Fanny in the room with Captain Harkness, and her madame obliges, and so she goes up to the room with the both of them. And when Harkness is distracted watching Fanny, Jane sees to his demise. Afterwards, the two of them flee and are trying to escape the city, but they do not want to do it with the British Army, naturally, because of what just happened at the brothel with Captain Harkness. And during their escape, they end up running into William once again. Jane at that point asks William for protection for both her and her younger sister, and William agrees and says that he will refer to them as his laundress so that they aren't questioned, and tells her that her days of working for her money, like she has been, are over. No one will do that, including him. They agree that he will see to their safe passage to New York, and then they will part ways there. Along that journey, he ends up having Rachel Hunter take the two girls into her care, and they spend some time with a Quaker community as well. The thought being that if they're with Rachel at a Quaker community, that they will be safer than if they are traveling with William with the British Army, and they are trying to avoid doing that. This all takes place the morning after the Battle of Monmouth? I have such a hard time saying that name. Monmouth? So again, they meet in June of 1778. In January of 1779, there is a friend of Captain Harkness's that sees Jane and recognizes her and accuses her of murdering Harkness. At that point, after being accused, Jane is set to be hanged for the crime, and William tries to speak on her behalf to General Clinton, but to no avail. It's at that point that he actually reaches out to Jamie for help, and the two of them go to where she's being kept and are trying to help her escape, but when they get there, it is too late, and she has unfortunately taken her own life. Jane was born in 1761 or 62, so at the time of her death, she would have been between 16 and 17 years old. After her death, Jamie and Claire take Fanny under their wing and protection. In the late spring, and this is again a huge spoiler, but in the late spring of 1779, the Frasers Ian, Rachel, Jaman, they all travel back to Fraser's Ridge together, and they take Fanny with them. Fanny, is tongue-tied, so Claire performs a surgery in order to release that for her and learn how to speak properly with her tongue functioning. And she's heavily involved in the most recent book, Go and Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. She becomes very close with Jamie and Claire's grandsons, Jaman and, spoiler, Jemmy, who returns to Fraser's Ridge as well, because they are all around the same age. And Fanny starts to take an interest in medicine, having shadowed Claire so closely at this time too. So this storyline, like I said, is going to be very important for William. It's going to teach him a lot. He has a lot of moments with her while they're traveling together that bring them very close together. So I'm curious how much of that we will see in the show. Hopefully they will dive into that with a fair bit of detail and context for viewers. But Jane is a tragic story.